next thing I'll probably do is start just fitting some equipment like pickguard, or maybe I might do the machine heads first, the tuners, because that tends to be a straightforward job and it makes the headstock look nice and complete. So we'll go and do that first. So I normally I don't work on the guitar this way up, I work on it upside down so the neck is the other way. So I'm just going to swap that over. And I'm going to first work on the machine heads here, or tuners, properly known as machine heads, but not have to use the right word every time. So I got 4 new pieces to put in the head here, but they're all individually wrapped. So I guess I'm going to have to undo each of these little baggies. I mean, someone got paid to pack it all. Each one has a ferrule that goes into the top and 4 screws to screw in the bottom. It pays to have somewhere to plonk your screws while you're working. I don't really want to lose any of these tiny screws because for whatever reason they're really hard to get outside of guitar parts. They're kind of very small but long. It's easy to get short, fat little screws, but not these thin, longer ones. They need to bite into the wood, of course, because they're holding on the machine heads. So what I want to see is a little bit of resistance with these ferrules in each of the holes, because they need to sort of stay in there. The ridges hold them in place. Those 2 are fairly loose. That one's good. This one may need a bit of convincing or tapping. We can give it a tap with the rubberized end of the screwdriver. See, the other one's just dropped out. So they're in good. I've got a small screwdriver for doing the small screws, so I'll just flip the base over so we can see the back. 2-way truss rod, good. So each of these is what's called an open back, and when I get into fixing up the whole action, I'll add a bit of lubricant to the back here, so they slide through like that. What I want to see is the holes lining up, but they're slightly different, so I may have to drill some holes. Yeah, looks like I have to drill some holes. Okay. Yeah, that's part of the risk of trying to replace parts. There is variations between the different manufacturers and brands and all that sort of good stuff. So, alright, I have to get my drill out and drill some small holes. So I've just put in the machine heads on a single screw in each corner that lines up. I've found the right diameter drill bit from my metric set, which is a 1.5mm, which will be the right size of the hole. I've measured the depth and marked it on my tape. So now I just got to drill these other holes and then put in the screws. And then I'll just drill in to my depth nice and easy. 1, 2. The first one's the worst. You don't want to muck this up and drill through your nice headstock and have a nice little drill hole on the other side. Last one. Okay. So I'm just going to do the top and bottom opposing corners of each one, and then see what wiggle room I have. This is one of the new holes. Yeah, I just get the feeling I'm going to strip it out. I'm really kind of concerned about that. So one way to alleviate things is to put some wax on each screw. They can go in a bit better that way. So we'll try and see if that works for this one. Certainly a bit easier. This was just a canister wax I made when I was making the waterproof matches. If you want to see what I'm talking about, just look to the top right of your screen, and I hopefully will remember to put a link in there. Yeah, putting the wax really helps on these. I'll just make sure they're all square and have an even gap. Okay, that looks better already. Yep. The next main thing I want to check is the pickguard that I received for this. I need to make sure that it lines up, but I also need to check where all the screw holes are to see if they line up with the screw holes already there, or if I need to drill some new ones and so on. So I'm going to check the pickguard out next. So just to talk about this style of bass, so this is originally the design was by Fender, and it's called a precision bass, and it's become somewhat of a de facto standard amongst a lot of people that make basses. So this, they refer to this as their vintage series, where they're basing it off the precision bass from Fender. But because they base it off that may not mean that it's exactly like that. And even though I bought a pickguard to suit a precision bass style, it may not mean that the screw holes are where I already have screw holes, because this was obviously had a pickguard on it before and has been taken off. So we're just going to try and set this on here and have a look-see about where things are at. Well, so far there aren't that many that line up, and I need to pivot the pickguard this way more because it needs to match up here and cover the hole. So I need to take a little off the pickguard where it is around the neck. I need to file a little bit off the top here just to make it fit. Much better already. I'd like to radius out that corner a bit more. That's about as close as we're going to be able to get it. Okay. I need to mark where the new holes need to go to see which ones I can use. And I need to fill in the old ones. So I'm going to get a white pen, put a dot in because it's black pen on black won't work. So going to be drilling a lot of new holes. Yeah, even the ones that are kind of in the right spot are off-centered. So yeah, I've got to fill in where these old screw holes are, and then can you just see it there? Yeah, that's the spot of the new pickguard. So that'll be what I'll have to drill out. But I have to fill in these first, just for neatness. So I'm going to fill them in with glue and a skewer probably, and then drill the new holes out. So I've just been marking out where this new bridge is going to go. It's a different size than the traditional fender style, so I've been having to work out what the centre line is and where the scale, 34-inch scale, comes to, and the actual centre hole is not in the centre of the bridge, so I'll have to fill in this centre hole. It's still here, and now I'm about to punch where these actual holes go, and then I'll drill the 3 holes I need. I'm just going to clean up these lines and use my tape as the sort of registration marks. So now I just use the tape as the placement, and what I want to do is mark a spot using a kind of a punch approach on each end. So I just want to put in a mark where the screw hole has to be drilled, like that, and down here. Okay, now I need to drill those holes. I need to find the screws. Here they are. 3 screws only for this bridge. That's the Allen key to adjust the bridge, so I need to keep that with the other one. Look at my drill set. It's going to be the 2mm drill bit, only about 1 centimetre deep. So I'll mark that with a bit of tape on my drill bit. That's about right. 3 nice holes should do. Okay. Alright. Now I'll just install the bridge. Actually, I need to put in the grounding wire first. So the grounding wire is important because it reduces the buzz or the feedback or the hum pickup we get from this style of instrument. It can pick up a lot of interference, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a set of better wire strippers. Wasn't that hard, was it? Alright. And I feed this end down into the pickup cavity. There it is. And this end I want to connect with the bottom of the bridge. So one technique I've seen, put scratches in the bottom of the base so it's got some good contact, and I'm going to use a bit of copper tape to attach it because it's simple and I can undo it easily that way. About there. What I want to do before I screw everything down is test for connectivity between the bridge and the wire. So I can do that with a multimeter set. Door open. So that tone means connectivity, so touch that wire. Okay. So that means there's connectivity between the bridge and the end of that wire. That's good. So now I just need to install the bridge. My mind hasn't been made up on this bridge yet. I like the look of it, but when I got it, it's really quite thick. And I'm a little worried that it'll affect the string height to such an extent I might need to put a shim in the neck. One advantage it has over the Fender style basic bridge is that the strings sit in a slot, so I don't have to feed a string through a hole. I can more easily change the string. In terms of it being a serviceable instrument, that helps a lot.